I cannot believe that people argue over what it means to be alive. And I say I'm alive. Do I look alive to you? I mean, here I am. I could say I'm a person, but somebody else can say I'm not a person. I'm just a clump of cells. I'm a gigantic clump of cells or a gigantic baby. And I'm thinking something that's alive is kind of something that but it has its own will. It has its own way of doing things. And that's the thing that I think separates one living thing from another, is that, what one person does what they do and some other person does what they do, and there is absolutely no connection sometimes. And when I talk about people, I'm including other animals. Like even a fly, and I don't like flies or spiders or anything like that, but I still have to admit that yes, they are alive. They move on their own. They do not in any way they do not take orders from me. I do not determine how a fly flies. I just don't do that. Similarly, parents have really no control over what their children do. This idea that parents are responsible for what their children do, no. They're a separate person. They're a separate living thing, and they do what they do. And so, in a lot of ways, I'm kind of like live and let live. And I think I know what it means to live. I know what it means to be alive. I think I'm alive enough to know what life is. And if anyone who wants to debate that I'm not alive, and they want to say I'm dead, well, I do a lot of talking and writing for something that's dead. But anyway, I'm not even going to debate about that. I just really want people to understand about life. When I call myself pro-life, it means so much more than being against abortion. Certainly against abortion, but it's so much more than that. And it's about letting people have their own choices. As long as their choices do not affect the choices of someone else, as long as one person, because when one person chooses to take away someone else's choice, I see that as bad. And see, what they don't seem to understand is, in most areas, yes, I could be called pro-choice, but when it comes to something like abortion, they're taking away the chance for the child to choose, the baby to choose whether it lives or dies. And that's what's weird to me is I read a really sad story, and I'm sure it's not the only story like it, but about this teenage girl who was forced into having 2 abortions by her mother, who described herself as pro-choice. But the daughter didn't get a choice in whether to keep or kill her babies. That's not pro-choice. That's pro-death.